Welcome to part 2 of our Pen Makers Canvas series. If you missed last week's episode, the first one, in that one we designed and we cut the pieces and we glued together the pieces for a segmented blank. And if you missed that one, the link's below. You can go back. In this one, the second of the series, we're going to use a 3/32 aluminum rod as accent pieces in the blank itself, around the circumference of it. We're going to pick up where we left off from part 1, where we had the blank, we designed it, we cut it, and we had it glued up. And it's ready at this point to go to the drill press and drill the holes for the 3/32 aluminum rods that we're going to use to accent the pieces. And with that, let's go to the drill press. Okay, the blank has dried, and I've taken it and I've trimmed it up, I've cleaned it up, got it square. This is the upper blank that we're going to drill 93 thousandths holes in and put some dots around the circumference. And I'll set up the drill press with some stop blocks so that we can repeat that. Okay, you can see that I've marked the blank for the position to drill. You see I've got it marked here all the way around. I've set up stop blocks here to control the vertical position and here to control the horizontal position of the drill. So now we'll drill this end, and then I'll get off camera and set it up for the other end, and then we'll drill. But here's, you get the idea of how it's accomplished. And there we go. Got our first 4 holes for our aluminum dots. Okay, our blank's drilled and it's ready to insert our aluminum rods. Now I've cut 4 pieces just about 7/16 of an inch long, actually 8 pieces, 4 for each end. 7/16 of an inch long, and then taken some sandpaper and deburred the ends. And all we're going to do is insert them in here. We're going to put a drop of medium CA in, and then place a rod and then tap it in until it bottoms out. Put a drop of CA in, place it, and tap it down. I didn't drill very deep. It's not needed because we'll insert the tube before we get ready. Next one. Drop of CA, insert the rod, tap it down. This process continues. That's just what we're doing. Let's go ahead and do the other side. When you're drilling this, you really want to take careful care in lining everything up, marking it, centering it, drilling it slow, taking your time, because you don't want to waste all your efforts in putting together these segmented blanks. There's quite a bit of labor and time involved in putting together these segmented blanks. And it's a shame when you get about 3/4 or 80% of the way done and then make a mistake. Now we'll, hit it with some activator. Okay, and that's all there is to putting rods in. I'll clean it up and then come back on camera and show you what it looks like before it's turned. There we have it. We have our blank for the upper barrel. This is where the clip and the finial will go in the center band. The finished blank is going to be only 3/8 down here, with these dots being in the middle at 3/16. I made these over a ½ inch, maybe 5/8 long, to give me room when you drill it so it don't blow out, and then when we trim it up it'll be the final. I'm not going to show the drilling and the turning. There's lots of videos. There's plenty of videos out to learn how to put in tubes and to turn. So at this point I'm going to drill, I'm going to insert the tubes, and I'm going to go ahead and turn them down, and then we'll come back and see what they look like in the turn stage. Hey guys, I apologize. I failed to take a picture of the blank in the turn stage before I assembled the pen. I got anxious to see what it would look like, and I assembled it. So in a moment you'll get to see it in its finished stage. But before we do, just a few things to consider. When you're drilling these segmented blanks, especially with stabilized materials or acrylics and with aluminums, you want to make sure you drill it slow and keep it cool, keep your waste cleaned out, and keep it cool. I use water with a drop or two of dishwashing liquid in it, and when I'm using wood, just plain wood that's not stabilized, I'll even use denatured alcohol. But you got to keep things cool, because aluminum is a good transfer of heat. They use aluminum in the radiator of your car. They use aluminum in heat exchangers on jet engines. So it's an excellent conductor of heat. If it gets too hot, your epoxy or CA will break down. So you need to keep it cool. Drill slow, be patient, keep it cool. Another thing to remember is, when you're drilling the holes for your inserts, you need to make sure you've got a good tight fit. In our case, we used a 3/32 aluminum rod, which is 93 thousandths. And I'm fortunate enough to have a numbered drill bit set, and we used a number 42 drill bit, which is 93.5 thousandths. And that only left a 1/2 thousandths across that diameter, which, as we can see, the gaps aren't evident at that close of a tolerance, if there's any gaps at all. As you'll see, it turned out quite nice. But if your hole is just ever so slightly too big, you'll see the gaps when you turn it, and it really takes away from the look. So make your drill bits match as closely as possible to your rod size. Harbor Freight has a good set of numbered drill bits, and they're not real expensive. So that's just one option. Just a few things to think about as you go into trying to do this kind of thing with your pen blanks. So that about wraps it up as far as using aluminum rods in an accent of your pen blanks. It's not that difficult. You just have to be careful and plan it out. You'll get to see a 10-second shot of our finished cap made from this pen blank we've been making. And next week we're going to add a custom finial to this cap of this pen. But before we leave, I'm going to ask you to do what I'm calling LLS. Like our video, leave us a comment, and subscribe to our channel so that you'll be notified when our next video comes out. Once again, I really appreciate you tuning in, and until next week, work safe.